good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. It's Vita Gorilla Economist coming to you live with my main man, El Cuco, working the airwaves, making sure the broadcasts are coming out crispy and clean. You know what I mean? Check us out, roguenews.com. Follow us on Twitter at Real Rogue News. Rogue News on every single podcasting app known to humanity. We're everywhere you want us to be, plus a bag of chips. We have with us our special guest. He is the man that helps us to get over Hump Day Wednesday and getting us ready for the rest of the week. It is the one and only Gus Demas, a.k.a. Gustavo, and you can check him out over at perpetualassets.com. Perpetualassets.com if you are terrified of your 401k becoming a 101k, or you're worried about a communist takeover and you want to grab your financial life by the balls, contact Gus Demas or Will Lear over at perpetualassets.com. Live life with a spine. Let these guys show you how it's done with perpetualassets.com. With that being said, CJ, Gustavo, what's up, guys?
That is, to shift to business for a quick second, that is true. When I texted you the guys the other day, and me and Will were laughing about it, I'm like, at least crypto's going up during all this. Like it makes we'll be able to afford like expensive booze in the gulag, which is good. Crypto's on fire. That's good.
Let me check where BTC's at. Okay, so pull back a little bit.
It's still hovering at like 19. It's the altcoins that have been fucking, and which I and not to say I'm clairvoyant or anything, but I found it odd that Bitcoin was approaching its all-time high, and the other ones, and I'm not talking about 50 or 100 market cap coins. I'm talking about like the Big 10 or the Big 20 or whatever, So I found it weird that Bitcoin was approaching the all-time high and the rest of them were nowhere near it. So, and that's
there's a reason behind this trajectory. And I was going to go on my Patreon and share this. It's just been so damn busy, but I'll just spill the beans right now. A lot of institutions are getting into a cash position. So when they're getting into a cash position, that's why you see the Bitcoin prices up high. The narrative behind Bitcoin by a lot of guys who are working on Bitcoin projects, but they don't work on the actual institutional side of things. And these are the computer nerds who are, oh yeah, look, this is great. Bitcoin's at 19,000. It's going to be 50 million before the year is out. Those guys have no idea what they're talking about. 97% of all the Bitcoin in the world is controlled by less than 3% of the wallets. So most of those wallets are held by institutions. So the way the institutions are manipulating the price of Bitcoin and the way the exchanges, which are also held and owned by a lot of these institutions, either they are sitting on the board or they're controlling them through shell companies, is they're just doing wash trades. Okay, it's basically they have two wallets or multiple wallets, and they're controlling all of it. So just by moving it from wallet to wallet, it's creating a price move in the coin. There's no actual real action occurring right now in Bitcoin in terms of the OTC world. I would have known about it. I know of every single large-scale deal that's done in BTC. I can see it. I know who's buying. Grayscale's buying. Okay, they bought billions. Okay, JPM is buying through proxy. So is Goldman. So is Morgan. So is Lloyd's. So is HSBC. They're all using proxies, and one of the biggest proxies they use is DCG Group, Digital Currency Group, and DCG is the 800-pound gorilla, pardon the pun, that's in the crypto industry. So a lot of what you're seeing here, folks, is institutions getting cash rich, because it is a powerful tool in order to move capital. This is not because, Joe Smith, who's a farmer in Idaho, decided to sell a couple of Bitcoins to his buddy. That's not what it's about. We're talking about wallets that have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of BTC in each of them. That's what's going on over here. So enjoy the rise, but remember to take profit. Go ahead, Gus.
Well, and what I was alluding to is that as Bitcoin rises, what you have seen it. So if you pull up a 3-day or 7-day on Bitcoin, it's been hovering between 17 and 19. But where the action really is on the lower 20 market cap coins. So as Bitcoin becomes too expensive, basically everyone starts hovering to ADA, XLM, XRP, blah, blah. XRP is almost tripled in the last. Link's kind of been good too the last couple of days, but XRP is on fire. Before that, Litecoin was on fire for a couple of days. I would expect Ethereum to slingshot shortly, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no one wants to pay $20K for a fucking Bitcoin. So the people are seeking the 2016, 2017 veterans, the traders or the hodlers or whatever, have seen this before. Bitcoin always goes first, and the rest trail it. Bitcoin either gets overvalued or goes up too fast, and the market capitalization of Bitcoin as a percentage of the total market capitalization is very high right now. And it in 2017, 2018, during the bull run, it eventually not evens itself out, but it gets more in balance to the other coins. So I would, whatever, again, it's all good. I'm not even trying to pick winners and losers. I'm just saying the sector, and the beauty of it is a lot of people, given the fact, we're slaves now, but a lot of people aren't paying attention to it like they were in 2017 yet.
You want to know how I always notice that cryptos are doing well or Bitcoin's going up, as I start getting all kinds of crazy messages and pings from people that don't know, that, relatively close to the industry, that, would you like to learn to trade? I got some advice for you. Would you like to join my group, my trading group, my trading? And that's how I know, because
brother, it's been a very quiet 19,000 is what I'm getting at. Like, so Bitcoin at 19,000 a couple of years ago looked a lot different than Bitcoin at 19,000 today. Yeah. Meaning that, like, on the news, people reaching out to me in my personal life, like, dude, what's up with this crypto thing? Like, I'm not getting that yet. Like, so all the fuss that you would get from the masses, it's a very quiet 19,000. Just like gold,
it is, at the end of nobody, look, the majority of people don't even know what the hell it is. Number one. Number two, they don't even care. Number three, they don't know how to get it. Number four, when they do get it, I'm going to open up a Coinbase account. Okay, Coinbase will allow me to buy $500 worth of Bitcoin every 3 months. Oh, this is good. And then once they get it, how do you spend it? Right? That's the problem with it. So for people who want to become,
it's hard to it's not only hard to explain on. So we have our clients have. Dude, we get everyone from like the hardcore veteran who's been in it for 5 years to the person who's like, what the fuck is a wallet or what's an address, and everything in between.
What's the seed word?
So that's the only issue with crypto is not only do you have to explain the functionality of how it moves, buy, sell, spend, liquidate, blah, 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 but then the use case for each coin. When everyone's like, well, what's the difference between this and this? And it's like, so every coin is a different use case. Then you have to try to articulate that and blah, blah, blah. The overall, honestly, I don't kind of like the oligarchs have totally shown their hand and they're promoting the Great Reset. Yeah. They're totally promoting that the dollar isn't going to be the world reserve currency.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and that's another reason why the BTC price is high, because they are attacking the dollar.
Yeah, they're attacking the dollar, and they've come clean that we love digital currency.
Yeah,
we just want to make our own. Like, so
we love it so much.
There'll be an IMF coin, a fucking Bank of England coin, a Bank of Japan.
Well, the Fed coin's already being worked on.
Yeah, dude. They're all in. They just don't want anything they don't control. That's the one. Like anything else.
Here's the funniest thing, dude. Working in the institutional side of things. These SOBs, and I'm talking about the large institutions, the banks and whatnot, they control all the rails. They control the on-ramps, and they control all the exits. So, I have ways of legally getting around it. But that's me and the few people that I work with. But
I've been telling you guys that for years, having the fact, we sell crypto and shit and work with retirement accounts, is once the feds figured out that cryptocurrency is basically a digital fucking audit. You could, with a public address, you could audit every transaction that's ever went in and out of that wallet.
It's not private at all, unless you're using Monero.
Once the feds figured that out, they did this. The feds, they rarely do anything smart, but they are good at making sure they could steal your money. What they did is they controlled the bottlenecks. So what do I mean by bottlenecks? Putting money into crypto, and when you want to get dollars out of crypto. That's what the feds focus on. So when you go to compliance training or FinCEN training, we, as a company, me and Will have to. So we go to all these training seminars, and they're like, yeah, you get them when they come in, get them when they come out. You get lost in the swapping in between cryptos, but the feds control the on-ramp and the off-ramp. That's where they want to make sure they get their cut. That's the bottom fucking line. So
that's it. They want their pound of flesh.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, that's the one underlying bright spot of this year is that crypto and metals are doing pretty good. But there's not many other underlying bright spots. But
what do you mean, Gus? I think everything is fine right now. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Gustavo has gotten so negative. What's happened to you two? I used to be the negative one here. Now you guys are negative.
Well, bro. It's honestly, the emotions range from fucking anger to sadness to depression to shock to all of it. Just watching everything, watching the great reset and the enslavement of our fucking nation unfold.
Can you believe what's happening in Germany?
Dude, after
the new law, they might as well call it Enabling Act Part 2.
When I was texting you guys this morning, I sent you guys that video, the Australia video, and then the LA video of those restaurant owners.
Oh my God.
Think about that. Think about the. And I was texting. I text one of my best friends on this the same links, and I'm like, what's weird about all this, man? Really weird about it all is that usually tyranny is brought in slowly, so the population doesn't know it's happening. It's hard to if they chip away at tyranny, like you don't even realize it's happening, right? But these motherfuckers have went like 0 to 60 in like Ferrari speed. They're like they peeled out, and it's like straight tyranny. Fuck you. And that you almost have to. And his response was, what they did was they had the infrastructure in place beforehand. And that I thought about that, and I'm like, that is true. They had they set up the infrastructure to be able to enforce all this and everything, and then it was just a matter of them flipping a switch. And I think that's what it is. There has to be, man, and this is I'll give you a glimmer of optimism on my part. I think everything they've gotten away with, literally they've gotten away with last year without ramifications. All these governors, all these mayors, all these fucking pieces of shit scumbags, everything they've gotten away with, I think has given them incredible hubris, meaning they've grown more bold, more cunning, more audacious in everything they're doing. Where like literally, like Lori, the fucking butch in Chicago, sitting there getting a pedicure, saying, "Shut it down. There's a curfew now. I changed it to 7 p.m." I think they've gotten so audacious that maybe that'll be their undoing, to the extent that the population has to have a line in the sand. I just don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it. I've been ready since April to fight. I'm just waiting for America to catch up. Like there has to be a line in the sand, and I don't know what it is for a lot of these people. I don't. Is Gavin going to start taking firstborns on Christmas Eve? Like, would that finally get people to rise up? I don't know. I mean, there has to be a line in the sand. I just don't know what it is. It's
going to take some time. I mean, if you think about the indoctrination that we've received basically from childbirth in terms of, being compliant, being obedient, from sit down, shut up, sit down, all those things, from, the educational standpoint, where the lack of, I don't want to say just, the memorization and repeat to creative thinking. It's definitely going to take some time, but I think essentially where we're starting to see some of these protests occur that, we talked about this the other day, where, around the various states, we're starting to see some of this business owners that are not afraid to confront sheriff's office, board of health directors, basically telling them to get out, that, go get a warrant if you want to come in and do all those things. So I think we're at that breaking point right now where people are starting to.
Did you guys watch the video I sent, the second one, about the restaurants in LA, the restaurant owners?
Yeah, I did. I have that. I went ahead and sent it to myself. I think this is the one, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's a couple different ones. Yeah, so let's play this real quick.
I want to see if you guys caught what I caught. Play it, and then let me see if you guys see what I see.
when you read the announcement, right? LA County implemented as of tomorrow, 10 p.m. No indoor, no outdoor dining. What's just like first thing that comes to your mind as a business owner?
What are our people going to do? How are we going to take care of them? Who do we let go? Who do we keep?
How do you say have a wonderful Thanksgiving? You have no job anymore.
Government's going to shut us down, then they had to be there for us in a sense. And that goes with all of our suppliers. You have to have a heart.
It was heartbreaking. Because, I had to let everybody go, but I had to tell them a day before Thanksgiving that there's no more work. A month before Christmas, that we might not even open by Christmas, that we might not even survive these 3 weeks. Because this industry, we depend on every single day of what we do. So I had to tell them, people with families, people with kids, that probably we were not going to have work from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas. It's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking.
What do you tell your people? It's unbelievable. We do everything we can, fight for this business to stay open so they can have jobs.
I want to have the employees. Okay, wait. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm glad that we're talking about this. I think it's really important.
Go ahead, guys.
Well, I could tell you, I watched it a couple times, and what caught me the first time and second time, and then I started getting even worse for me was, dude, take off your fucking masks and stop fucking begging and fucking. These people are being starved out, bankrupted, and their initial response is to sit there and be interviewed with masks on, giving sob stories of these people, your overlords, these new kings and dictators we have, they don't respond to pretty please. When they
respond to a fist to the face.
They respond to go fuck your mother, do something about it. They're meaning like these people are all in LA. And what is their default position? Submit. I'm gonna wear a mask while I beg Garcetti and Gavin. Like, take off your dude. He's starving you, and this isn't for the virus. This is martial law, dude. They have enslaved you without your consent. We never voted for this. And what are you doing? You keep his little mask on and you do a fucking interview.
That's the line of the sand.
That's the problem. But that's the problem with the country. So and my buddy was like, dude, they voted for this. Like, they almost want it. Like, and instead of pushing back and be like, fuck this bullshit, what do? They put their masks on and start begging. It's like, dude, the begging's not working, dude. They don't. You think fucking Pelosi and Gavin and Garcetti care if you sit there and beg with your mask on? They know
it gets them high. They love that. It's a natural high for them.
They know you're a chump. Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, nice dude, nice mask. I'm gonna be at a wine and cheese party in Napa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Enjoy your mask while I'm gonna go back to French Laundry and have another $350 plate while you're sitting there.
That's what jumped out at me. And like most people watch that video and are like, oh my God, they're starving everyone. This is heartbreaking. It's even more heartbreaking is their default, except for the lady. The only one lady was sitting there without a mask. She was sad. Her heart was broken, but at least she took her fucking mask off. The other two restaurant owners, the couple and the dude, were sitting there with them like, dude,
what are we going to do? We sending people home for Christmas. We might not be open. Dude, the state has declared war against the small business owner. The state has declared war. Yeah, Gus, you said it best. This is siege warfare. Warfare. They're starving these people out, man.
Yeah. It's they're consolidating.
What the hell is this? Governor shuts down grocery stores for 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is happening in New Mexico, and this is all courtesy of the quote unquote contact tracing that's occurring. So basically, what's happened in New Mexico, they basically have looked at employees that have tested positive for COVID, which we know the tests are basically worthless. So the governor has mandated that 25 of these grocery stores, basically essentially services, and we're not talking about small independent grocery stores. We're talking about Albertsons. We're talking about, Walmart's has basically said, hey, you've got to shut down. You've got to shut down during these 14 days, basically essentially creating a humanitarian, crisis.
Where are people going to eat?
Bro, that's another thing that's so funny. They've convinced these fucking sheep to go get tested who aren't sick.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about deaths anymore, or we're not talking about hospitalizations. We're talking about new cases. So they've convinced these fucking sheep to willfully go get tests. Dude, I only go get tested if I'm sick. Like if there's nothing wrong with me,
imagine, if you will, a virus so bad that you have to go get tested, even though if you freaking have it.
You don't even know if you have it.
It's so bad.
So, but this thing, boys, the scam feeds itself. So they've convinced these fucking retards go get tested. Then they go get tested. There's nothing wrong with them. They're a positive. And what do they do on top of that? Then they start the contact tracing. Who are the last 20 people? It just feeds itself.
Perfect scam.
Yeah, perfect scam. Perfect scam.
Look at this database that they have in New Mexico in regards to the response. So they actually have a running roster of rapid test responses, positive, negative, and basically list the business and whether or not they're going to probably remain open. And this is a whole new level of tyranny and
siege warfare, man.
Yeah,
this is the new neo siege warfare. This is siege warfare.
Was it Oregon? Was it the Oregon governor that was begging people to narc on their neighbors if they catch him at Thanksgiving? But yes. You're right. Like databases, lists, neighbors narking on neighbors. Put the whole picture together, dude. We're living in 1930s Nazi Germany. Like put the whole picture together and see what you take a step back. Narking on your neighbors, rioting and looting in the streets, brown shirts pulling old ladies out of cars. Everyone needs permission to do it. We're living in fucking Nazi Germany. And the side that are the fascists are actually the side that's been telling you you're a fascist all along for wanting to grab a cheeseburger and a beer at a bar. Oh, you're a fascist. The science, follow the science. Like, dude, it's honestly, man, sometimes I have to laugh because it's almost like an episode of the fucking Twilight Zone. It's also infuriating and fucked up that I don't know. I don't know where we let the Karens, pussies, and retards take control of this country. I really don't know. And that's another side note, infuriating thing. All these politicians, pull up a picture of the governor of New Jersey and Lori Lightfoot and Garcetti in LA. Pull up a picture, or my governor in Nevada. Pull up a picture of all these people. Dude, these people are the biggest. They're beneath you, dude. They're the biggest fucking loser parasite class. Like these aren't like our overlords are a joke. That's what's so infuriating. It's like, dude, motherfucker, take away the state police. I'll throw you in a fucking locker and give you an undie grundy and a noogie. Like you're just a fucking geek. Like that's what's so infuriating. Like I watched a Nevada governor and I'm like, this guy's a straight up fucking fat commie nerd. Like who the fuck is this? This guy's trying to enslave me? Really? Like it's almost laughable. And it's laughable and infuriating. And yeah, I don't know. There has to be a line where even the retards, even the pussies, and even the Karens are like, all right, they went too far. I just don't know what that fucking line is, man. I don't know. Take off go ahead.
No, look what de Blasio's accomplishing. What he's doing, he's basically looking at traffic, that's occurring and saying, hey, look, we're going to set up these traffic checkpoints and we're going to be able to conduct spot checks when out-of-state buses or people are driving through, doing education about quarantine. And if New York statewide 14-day holiday quarantine mandates the travelers quarantine, or they have to take a test showing that they're negative, if violations of self-quarantine will be enforced, or we carry fines of $1,000 to $2,000. why don't they just declare martial law?
It is martial law,
Right? Exactly.
Of course, the definition of quarantine. The definition of quarantine is isolating sick people. They're not isolating sick people. They're isolating the entire population. They're isolating the country. That's not a quarantine. That's martial law. Like, so they don't care if you're sick or not. They're isolating everyone. That's martial law. They're Nazis. They are fucking like, look, we're gonna start pulling people over and asking for papers. What does that sound like? What is everything they're proposing?
Papers, please.
Papers, please. Oh, as you said, are we the baddies?
Are we
like, yes, you have been all along, dumb fucks.
You know what? I was listening the other day. I was listening to InfoWars, and David Icke was on with Alex Jones. And even though he's kind of woo-woo talking about some of this stuff sometimes, like what he was talking about was like this whole level, and it makes sense from a perspective of you are doing magic mushrooms or whatever. But he was talking about this whole vibration where this darkness and where they operate, these people, this frequency, and the frequency that they operate is under fear of doom, of uncertainty, and by suppressing the free thought of humanity, by not allowing people to celebrate, enjoy the comfort that we seek in friends and family and all those things, it elevates the frequency that they operate on. So from that perspective, it makes perfect sense of what they're trying to do.
Well, there was a great meme I saw like a couple days ago. It was like, it was from Babylon Bee, and it wasn't even a meme. It was one of their like fucking articles making fun of, and it was Governor Gavin sees could tell violations are occurring by the sound of children's laughter. Like, they're trying to eliminate all that is good, basically. It doesn't matter if it's your family, your holiday, your religion, your exercise, your career, they want it all. They really, really do want it all. Because I went and got my hair cut yesterday, and the lady cutting my hair is like, it doesn't make any sense though. I said they already have all the money, but I'm like, honey, this has nothing to do with money and everything to do with power. The money and power are two totally different things. Totally different things. Money is, Trump had money before he was president. Power,
money is, I think it was a great.
Power is the deep state. Power is being able to break the law as you see fit and not go to prison. Power is being able to lock people in their homes or you can't go on a beach in California. You might catch COVID. Sand is that's power. Money and power are two totally different things. Many times money is a means to power, but the real power is much different. Power is.
It is.
Yeah. That's what they're. Go ahead.
Gus, to your point about power, remember House of Cards on Netflix?
Yes.
Remember what Frank Underwood said? Kevin Spacey's character, Frank Underwood. Great show, by the way. Frank Underwood said this. He chose money over power. In this town, a mistake nearly everyone makes. Money is the McMansion in Sarasota that starts falling apart after 10 years. Power is the old stone building that stands for centuries. I cannot respect someone who does not see the difference. And there you go.
Power is what these people are doing and executing and after and craving. And so you could be a guy with $10 million in the bank or $5 million in Manhattan in LA right now. Do you feel like you're powerful? Like, do you feel powerful? No, you have all the money in the world. You have enough money to fucking retire and die off of. But based on the mayor and governor snapping their fingers, you're their bitch. That's power. That's power. The ability to send men with guns to your door to fucking do whatever the fuck they want. You're powerless. You're a fucking slave, a sheep. So that's the difference. Money could acquire you some freedom, some leverage, some flexibility, security, all that. But power is the ability to instill your will on other people. And that's what these people really go after. They're psychopaths. Most of them are psychopaths. Who brought it? Someone brought it up yesterday. Like, I was watching the dude, the congressman, the ex-soldier congressman in Pennsylvania. He was talking about the guy, the Democrat he was running against. Most of these people have never even had private sector jobs. They're like career fucking bureaucrats. They're not there because they care about you. Did you guys see the Nancy Pelosi Wolf Blitzer thing, where she was talking about we feed them in a brief 1 to 2 minutes of honesty on CNN? Wolf Blitzer's like, dude, like, are you going to pass a stimulus thing? People, like, I see homeless people every day, and Pelosi snapped. She's like, do you feed them? We feed them. Those are my constituents. We feed them. We care about them. Like, she's talking about them like they're dogs. Like
exactly.
Like they're animals. Like they're like
she's a lord and she's talking about her serfs who work.
Yeah. She's like, I throw them bread.
These people are sick.
Dude, they are sick. They are sick.
I'm so sick of them.
Well, one thing. Go ahead, Gus.
No. The question is, did they keep? Here's what I don't know. Did they keep weakening, feminizing, and neutering America to the point where we become Germany or Australia? Like, oh yeah, more taxes, taking your guns. There's hate speech now. You said fag on the internet. You have 2 years in jail. Are they going to keep enslaving? Are we going to keep getting neutered, or is the country going to fucking fight back? That I don't know. That I do not know. And like I said, I think human nature is everyone has a breaking point, especially when they go 0 to 60 on tyranny. They're not going tyranny, linear tyranny. They're going 0 to 6. Like they're peeling out on the tyranny. Are people going to rise up? Are people in Manhattan going to be like, enough? Fuck this. Fuck you. Come do something about it. I don't know. And if so, when? When? And CJ, you're right. We have seen some encouraging, like the ladies in New Jersey, the restaurant in Michigan. People are starting. There was a mask. I love, and that's why I named my thing "Mask Burning." There were people. They had like a thing in San Clemente in California, Huntington Beach, where they started burning masks in the streets. I want to believe, dude. I want to believe people are going to rise up, but I don't know. There has to be. I'm waiting for the Lexington Concord moment to steal the American Revolution metaphor. There has to be a moment that goes viral where they're like, enough. And I don't know if that's some fucking person punching fucking Eric Garcetti in the face or something in California. There's got to be something. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like or when it's going to come or if it's going to come, but it would take something like that. Like, oh my God, I'm not Eric Garcetti's slave. You mean? Like, dude, did you guys see the video of the LA cops attacking that kid for curfew?
No, LA cops, no.
I don't know. This video here is. I don't know if it's curfew.
This
or
is
just
Australia.
Like
this is the Australian one.
I was looking
play
at
the Australian one, then we'll do the LA cops. CJ.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Here we go, Australia, folks. Look at this. Kid pass. That's a teenager. There you go. This is how they cuck a country. Australia went downhill as soon as they gave up their guns.
Yep. CJ, if you could find it, just say LA police curfew or something like that. Maybe something, the video will come up. But it was basically like they didn't go after Antifa or BLM, but they fucking. I don't know if you're gonna. It was from a couple of days ago. This dude gets attacked by like a fucking. Just look at this peaceful little hippie at like 10:05 p.m. gets attacked by like a SWAT team for being out at 10:05. Like they let Antifa and BLM burn Rodeo Drive to the ground and riot and loot in Santa Monica. But if you're out at 10:01 without a mask on, you got a real fucking problem.
Like got a huge problem.
Right. I mean, that's.
CJ, are you able to find that video?
No, can you bring it up?
I could here. Let me pull it up here.
Email it to CJ. And then,
yeah, or I'll text it, email, whatever. Or you got your shit on different devices. LA police.
Oh, there we go. Is that it?
Let me see.
No, these are all over the place. What came up? They're probably maybe shadow banned. It's not coming up anywhere.
That's also possible. That's also possible. They had the infrastructure to enslave us. IT was part of it. I don't see the kid. Anyway, people, it's pretty fucking. It's like the Australia video. This basically, like, these guys in total tactical gear pull up, and that's what I was telling you guys. Like, many of the cops and sheriffs who enforce this shit are going straight Nuremberg defense. Like, I'm just following orders. It's what the Nazis said after World War II. Like, I was just following orders. I'm just following orders. Like, God willing, there's a point where they're like, some sheriffs are doing it. So a lot of the sheriffs and the county sheriffs in California are like, I'm not fucking doing. Fuck you. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, New York sheriff said the same thing to Cuomo. They basically told him to go take a flying leap.
Yeah, and then Cuomo said, "Oh, that sheriff's being a dictator." It's like, what?
He's crazy.
Dude, they're all crazy, bro. That's what I'm telling you.
Nuts.
They're all insane. Their level of projection is incredible. Like,
it really is.
No,
I'm astounded.
They do exactly what they accuse you of. It's fucking madness. It really is madness.
You're a racist.
You know what the crazy thing is that no one's talking about is just that the human toll that's taking place right now is, far more destructive than COVID is, right? And here's a perfect example of
CJ. It's not even close. It's not even
close.
No.
And think of the long-term effects. So think of our kids that are going through this right now, and this survey points out the 7-10s are struggling with mental health. Think of the prescriptions that are being prescribed right now. Think of the long-term effect that's lasting. I want to shift gears real quick and show this because James Corbett had a great conversation about the human toll. I want to play this just real briefly, just a couple minutes of it.
This is James Corbett of CorbettReport.com. In 2006, a 15-year-old high school student from Albuquerque, New Mexico, won 3rd place in the Intel Science and Engineering Fair for her project on slowing the spread of an infectious pathogen during a pandemic emergency. Using a computer simulation that she developed with the help of her father, she argued that in order to slow the spread of the disease, governments should implement school shutdowns, keep kids at home, and enforce social distancing. Incredibly, that 3rd place high school science fair project can be tied directly to the lockdown policies being implemented by governments around the world today. You see, that father that she developed her computer simulation with was no average doting dad, but a senior researcher at Sandia National Laboratories who at that time was working on pandemic emergency response plans for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. His proposal to implement school shutdowns and, if need be, workplace shutdowns in the event of a pandemic emergency was developed at least in part in response to his daughter's high school project. Now, those advocating for lockdowns have seen the destruction and death that those policies have wrought this year, and we are living through that right now. Not only are people being deprived of their livelihoods and forced into grinding poverty as a direct result of these shutdowns, but now the undeniable truth is that if you are advocating for lockdowns, you are advocating for some portion of the population to be consigned to death. This is no longer debatable. It is even openly admitted, although months too late, by the World Health Organization.
I want to say it again. We in the World Health Organization do not advocate lockdowns as a primary means of control of this virus. We may well have a doubling of world poverty by next year. We may well have at least a doubling of child malnutrition because children are not getting meals at school and their parents in poor families are not able to afford it. This is a terrible, ghastly global catastrophe, actually. And so we really do appeal to all world leaders. Stop using lockdown as your primary control method. Develop better systems for doing it. Work together and learn from each other. But remember, lockdowns just have one consequence that you must never, ever belittle, and that is making poor people an awful lot poorer.
This is the point at which, no doubt, I'll be expected to produce the data to back up the non-controversial observation that lockdowns kill, even though that data will do precisely nothing to penetrate the consciousness of those who have already decided that they occupy the moral high ground for advocating locking billions of people around the globe as prisoners inside their own homes. But persevere I will. I'll point, for example, to the letter signed by hundreds of doctors calling the lockdowns themselves a mass casualty incident and exhorting politicians to end the shutdowns. I'll point to the research that shows that thousands of people will die because of delays to cancer surgery treatments as a result of the medical shutdowns. I'll point to the research of the Wellbeing Trust showing that 75,000 Americans are expected to die deaths of despair, including alcohol and drug misuse. And
I can pause it there. Obviously, we get the point.
Yeah,
It is ridiculous, man.
bro.
It's inhuman for something, Gus, that has a 99.997 survivability rate. It's ridiculous, bro.
No, well, they're again, bro. It's like we're living in multiple realities, and it's hard for me. Like I said, there's so when I try to game theory this out in my head, man, it's all right. Are we slaves now? Are we China 2.0? Is there going to be some sort of conflict where we rise up? Is it going to be balkanization, where essentially two countries occur, where they're like, people start migrating geographically to their own region, where like, I want freedom, I want speech, I want gun. Like there are numerous ways this can play out. I don't know what's the most likely. Are we as a nation is everyone just totally gonna submit and we're bitches? Like, because then it's time for me to really think about how to get over the fucking border and get the fuck out of here. Like, if I don't want to live here in 5 years if we're an Orwellian fucking nightmare the way this thing's going.
I don't know where the hell to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like
that too, dude. But like fucking Berwick, I'd rather live on a fucking in a Mexican town and pay off the mayor or something. Like,
absolutely. That's why I like you could do that kind of stuff in Central and South America and stuff. Like in Panama.
Well, it's put it this way. My preference would be balkanization, or we fight back. I am but I would. So there are three ways this could play out. We become a nation of total fucking slaves, an Orwellian fucking nightmare. At which point I would think of how to get the fuck out of here. Or we fight back, or it's balkanization, where people go to their own regions. I am prepared for, or I'm getting prepared for any of the three scenarios. I've been ready to fight since April. And now I think
we're going to get balkanized, because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of red states, man, like places like in Florida and other places that they will not.
That's what I'm doing. That's where my priority is now. Like I've been telling you guys my plan. Like, I'm leaving. Fuck this. I can't live under these people's rule. I can't live around these motherfuckers. They make me fucking sick. They're like, fuck it. So since not everyone's ready to fucking storm the castles with pitchforks yet, like, I'm like, all right, fuck you. Enjoy your slavery. I'm fucking out. So I'm hedging the balkanization portion of it right now. That's what the next 3 months of my life, that's what it's going to be spent doing, picking out land and getting a house and getting away from these motherfuckers. Which again, that's one possibility, where essentially it's like two nations form, where you could get, where I'll never set foot in California again, or Illinois, or like, if people want to visit me, where, it's not going to be, I'm not going into East Berlin. Or look at V, like you've been talking about, man, you fucking gulped it the fuck out of here. Like that's the third that's the nuclear option. Like,
it's amazing when I look at Africa. And one of the things that these idiots don't talk about, when you look at the death rate from COVID in Africa, it's abysmally low. Why? Because over there and in other places, like in certain areas in India and stuff like that, they pass out HCQ as candy. And I'm talking about the hydroxychloroquine, right? HCQ. They pass it out like candy. And it's a proven thing that, and I'm not dispensing medical advice here, so YouTube, please don't ban me and take this video down and shut down our channel.
Yeah, we're not saying there's
we're not saying it's a cure.
Right.
We're just saying that there's a correlation. And what a lot of doctors and scientists have been saying is that if you catch it early on, it's very treatable using these specific types of drugs. And the fact that it's not done here in the United States, and the fact that if you go to a private hospital, you're well taken care of. If you go to a state hospital, you're kind of screwed. Same thing goes in other places and around the world. Private hospitals are able to dispense this drug versus the public, and you see a rapid recovery. But it's not done simply because of political reasons. This is the ultimate power grab, and if nobody can see COVID for what it is, an ultimate power grab, I don't know what else to tell you.
Bro, like I said, it's astounding, really, the how easily. Well, like I said, there's two realities. So something with the mortality rate, 99 point whatever the fuck it is. It's like, dude, these people can't admit they got conned. They're either dumb, weak, docile. There's got to be something there. And I guess if you're just watching CNN all day, like, you do take it seriously. Like, it's like, but like their inability to connect simple intellectual dots of like, dude, why do you drive then? Why do you get on a plane? Why do you have sex? Why do you do anything? Like, they've convinced these retarded motherfuckers that this thing is like like having AIDS in the 1980s or something. Like, it's a death sentence.
Exactly.
It's crazy to me. It really is fucking crazy to me the way these people haven't connected the dots of like, motherfuckers, have you not looked at Sweden lately? Like, it's fine. Isn't
that amazing? The Swedes. We used to make fun of the Swedes a year ago, Gus.
Well, all of it. Like, Georgia's been open since April. Why isn't everyone dead? Like, don't the people living in New York or California like be like, wait a minute, why isn't everyone in Florida dead? Why isn't everyone in Sweden dead? Why isn't everyone in Walmart or Amazon dead or fucking Costco or like these people are dumb and weak and like
why do we put up with it is amazing.
Well, that's the question. Is it just tail end empire, final stages, all of it? Like,
I mean, is this how we're taking out? We didn't fight. We didn't get a chance to fight a great war and then go quietly into the night, right? We didn't have some great crescendo, but we're killed by something that has a 99.997 recovery rate. That's how we go down. My God, how the history books will be written.
What will they say about it? They're like, there was a great plague that.
There was a great plague. It was a common cold.
0.0001% of the population was affected, and we've turned you all into slaves now. It's fucked up, man. It's all
crazy,
and that's why, like I said, it's so frustrating. It really is frustrating. But what can you do? Like the stages of grief, I've tried to come to acceptance where I'm like, all right, like it is what it is, and if these motherfuckers are going to go down this easily, so be it. Like, what can I do about it? Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your wealth, and like if they ever rise up, man, I'll fucking be there. In the meantime, I'll hedge on the balkanization shit, and I'll have an exit strategy. But I go back to the point, and maybe you guys will tell me, is there a line in the sand? Is it starvation? Do they have to like have their front door welded shut by mayors and governors to be like, wait a minute, this is a little weird?
Well, right now, because I've been thinking about this and assessing it quite a bit. I don't know why, but the last few days I've been getting up literally like at 4 a.m. every day. Something.
Yeah, I know you're up early these days.
Something has just been like clicking, saying, get up, get started, whatever. Now, literally, I fall asleep by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I think I'm thankful at this point that a lot of the civil war that's occurring right now is occurring behind the scenes between the intelligence services and, whether you call them the white hats, whoever is countering this insurgency. And I firmly believe that that's happening right now behind the scenes. The question is when does that hit the street? when does that happen Main Street when that information comes out that, because they're planning for a counterinsurgency against that in the event that, and there's several evidence proof to show that the courts are legitimately looking at it. And I'll scroll through a couple of articles just real quick. This is a great one by Glenn Greenwald, who is the former owner, creator of The Intercept, who recently resigned as a result because they wouldn't let him talk about the Biden documents, everything. And he maps this out. He talks about through some of the WikiLeaks documents where back then they assessed things. And when they were able to start seeing that there was a counter anti-war going back against Afghanistan, Iraq, where people were starting to rise up and say, we don't want these things anymore, that they started looking at this programming and technology where they could influence everything from U.S. elections to the media, where it was kicked into overdrive. So I encourage everyone to go read that. Right now he operates on basically his own blog that you can go follow. Now, an update to what the Kraken is, and I've been reading this and trying to assess it, but I know everyone keeps talking about the Kraken, but it appears that Kraken there it is. Kraken is a Department of Defense cyber warfare program, and basically what it does, it tracks systems. I'm reading this verbatim from the site. Acquires evidence of nefarious activities and crimes committed, by the deep state. So this was put in place to observe and monitor the electronic transmission of data, basically everything happening behind the scenes. And the Department of Defense, they have this program. So when you hear Sidney Powell saying, hey, we have the goods, we have the items are theirs, because the infrastructure was put in place to capture this. And I think that when she's speaking to the amount of confidence that she does in regards to getting this election overturned, that's specifically what she's speaking to, is that release the Kraken. We have this. We're going to publicly release this, but it's going to shake
coming out today, CJ. She's releasing it today.
Well, here's the thing that people need to understand is this is literally going to shake the foundation of our country, because when we find out that our elections for probably the past 20 years have not been elections at all. They have been, and VI said this the other day in regards to what Jeff Berger has said for years, is that, presidents aren't elected, they're selected by the apparatus of the deep states, these alphabet agencies who select and put in that time. So this day of reckoning is coming, and I believe it's happening in real time behind the scenes. What that $1 million question is when does that hit Main Street? When does that hit when people start to see that the election is going to be turned? And I think that's when we will need to see the Patriots.
CJ, they'll deny its existence.
They will. The media.
Let me remind everyone of one simple thing. What we're really up against, and I talk about this only because it's so incredible to watch. We really are living in two fucking realities, and people. And the greatest example is, remember the MSNBC and CNN reporters with a fire behind them in the background, saying this is a mostly peaceful protest. This,
the world's on fire. There's everything's fine.
Minneapolis is literally a pile of ashes, and the guy sitting there is like, "Oh, this mostly peaceful protest." And I'm like, dude, so what will happen? Even if it's glaring, smoking gun shit, where it's like, here it is, it's documented, here it is. You know how they'll be reported. You know how CNN and MSNBC, the CIA, you know how it'll be handled. And that's why I've often thought, if conflict comes to this country, real conflict, like if it what we call a civil war, what I firmly believe is it will look like Narcos season 1. And if you remember, me, CJ, and V love this show, and if anyone's ever seen it, you go back and rewatch it. It's a fucking incredible show, both the Colombia and Mexico versions. But it will be like the media will be part of the war. Not only the propaganda coming out of the media, but people will target the media. And that's what I don't think the media realizes. It's like, and you even watch it now at the Antifa people. They wear media, so if you watch the DC don't steal the vote thing. A lot of the attacking Antifa and BLM people on that side were wearing press badges and shit. So they hide. They think being part of the press protects them from conflict. If conflict ever comes to America, the media needs to understand it's open season on them. Like they won't be. If you think the other side is gonna let the fucking Maddow and Cooper smoke cigars and laugh about this whole thing, you got another thing coming. Like you're gonna be part of it. So the press badges won't protect you from conflict.
Great point, Gus, in regards to the media and the information that's going to be controlled as we navigate through this. And, just to give a really quick election update, because the media keeps, celebrating like all these victories that, this is decided and everything, that the Trump team behind the scenes has actually won many of concerns that they've waged to the courts. And so several courts, including Nevada, have said, hey, look, we're going to give until December the 3rd. I think I had this brought up. So here it is. So big news in Nevada. Judges allowed Nevada Republicans to present findings of widespread voter fraud up until December 3rd hearings. And this has taken place in numerous states. So I think for the most part, yes, there's going to be an effort to follow what could be conceived as normal process, go through the courts. It's going to be overturned, and eventually will hopefully end up in the Supreme Court to make those decisions. Now, listening to several commentators and then obviously forming my own opinion, and what I'm perfectly willing to sign up for, that if we get to the point where the courts, the media are trying to circumvent the election, I think that we very well could be looking at either one of two things, either imposing the Insurrection Act of 1807, which is at the disposal of the president, where he says, hey, you know what? We have to go ahead and establish this process that would allow him to deploy, military assets, on the ground to suppress ideals of insurrection, of disorder, of rebellion that's taking place against a sitting president, which we know is happening right now. And in the event that he does declare, martial law, which would be the other present to bring in military order to what's taking place. I'm not sure if we'll get to that point, but if we do, that's what people that are listening in this live stream need to be prepared for, because I think that's where we will start to see the massive unrest, the Antifas, because you have to establish that, like right now, if you're just thinking that this calm before the storm is fine, it's going to remain like this, we're going to get through Thanksgiving, then you're confused, because right now they are planning for both outcomes. They're planning for, hey, this is great, there's a transition that's going to happen. Plan B, that the Trump that ends up victorious through this. How do we launch a counterinsurgency? And that's what we, the people, need to be prepared for. And I think it's game on at that point, Gus. So I think the whole idea regarding the shutdowns and everything will become irrelevant, because people will have no choice. Patriots will have no choice but to take action at that point that we're reaching.
Regardless of the outcome, right? So this I know for certain. If Trump pulls it out, regardless of how it's done, doesn't matter what it is. If Trump pulls it out, these motherfuckers will be in the street an hour later, just like they were in the summer. An hour, it'll be George Floyd times 10 if Trump pulls it out. If Trump doesn't pull it out and Biden stays in there or gets in there, whatever, then we will become California. That's what I was like. If Biden puts his hand on that Bible on January 20th, we expect California type shit. And why do I say that? Because they've admitted it. And so I think and that's why I go back to the balkanization point. At that point, it's hard for me to go up there and be like, come and get me. I'm not, fuck you, against the federal government. It's a lot easier for a governor to do it, and a mayor and a sheriff and blah, blah, blah. Again, it's about understanding who's got your back, what are the jurisdictions, who's going to play ball with Biden, who's going to tell him to go fuck himself. So that's that's the way those are the two scenarios. Dude, if Trump gets in there, you don't think they're gonna fucking burn this motherfucker down or try to? Of course they will. They've game theoried that out, dude. Remember before the election, they went public about the game theories they've played out, where Oregon, Washington, and California would try to say "fuck you," like they would literally like leave. They would try leaving, like so. This is that's you got to hand it to the Democrats. They, like I said, man, they are ready. They are ready for anything. Like no matter which way this plays out, they're ready for it. And again, as much as it's the only thing I can do between now and then is prepare for any scenario. But I can't. It doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy that the motherfuckers rule who I live under and his piece of shit attorney general is against me, as a commie piece of shit who literally just stole an election and tried to enslave us. Like, so we'll see, bro. I don't have a crystal ball, man. It could go numerous ways. I don't think. Here's what I would advise everyone: don't become axiomatic in the way you think it's going to go, because it might not go that way. If it doesn't matter where you think this is going, or I definitely have my fingers crossed and want it to go a certain direction, but it might not go that direction. So I have to be prepared in case it doesn't go that direction. If I'm
well, here's the thing. Regardless, though, like what you're saying, Gus, as far as being prepared and everything, that I think the worst thing that people can do right now is just at least sit by and do nothing and hope for the best. That's not
us three have been talking about that for a long time. With kind of like pointing out like a lot of the Q stuff has been like by going down those rabbit holes back in the day. My pushback was always like it's sort of lazy thinking. It's like, oh, they've got this. I could just go back to everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. It's like, dude, that's not a good way. That takes the power away from yourself. You have your fingers crossed that it's going to be okay. It might not be. And if I'm looking at all these mayors and governors and district attorneys and attorney generals and all these fucking pieces of shit commies, everything they put us through last year, man, I don't know if they're gonna stop. The only thing these motherfuckers might understand, honestly, the only thing they might understand is force. There's a chance that they will take this fucking thing all the way to the end. They will. I don't think they're afraid of sticking us in fucking gulags. I don't think for one.
Well, they said re-education camps. They said loss of employment. I mean, you name it.
Brother, people think that's hyperbole. It's not.
No, they mean it. That's the thing about the left.
As the great quote says, V, when they tell you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
Yeah.
That was Medea, bro. Medea.
Yeah. The only thing these people might understand is force. Yeah, truly. Like,
but Gus, that's human history. This is what people. This is what people don't understand. Human history is a history of aggressive force. These people need to get punched in the face.
So when I talk about lines in the sand and where's the pushback going to occur, like I said, is don't understand that the hubris that your opponent, the other side, has achieved the last 4 years, getting away with everything. The governors, the attorney general, the CIA, the deeps, the FBI. Think about everything they've done the last 3 years, and this year especially on the governor, mayor, district attorney, and AG level. Think about everything they've gotten away with, and really accept the fact that these motherfuckers are not afraid to put us in gulags, re-education camps. They don't accept that for a minute and realize that it might come to, like you've been saying, V, it might come down to going Galt, I've added John Connor. It might come down to going John Galt, John Connor, or Wick. And because
I love it.
How would I go John Connor?
No, I had John Connor a couple months ago. Well, that's the revolutionary. Like we must resist.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, from Terminator.
Gotcha,
so
gotcha. No, I was thinking time travel. I'm like, how do I go into the future or the past?
I'll say this. I'll say this I'll say this as delicately as possible. The wrong people are afraid. Like everyone's the Concord Lexington of this generation, of this tyranny, might literally be some lady in LA punching Garcetti in the face or something. Like, fuck you, do some, like, and that a video like that goes viral, and they're like, oh, I thought he was my overlord. Now now some woman just kicked his ass and he's on the ground crying. Like, that might be what it. Let's see. Like, dude, I watched the Jersey ladies go to the governor's table, and I literally, like, it was one of the happiest moments I've been last year. Like,
hey, see, you played that before, right?
Dude, it was
awesome.
What's that?
Hey, Phil, what's his name? Governor Phil, whatever. Morris,
whatever the fuck his name. Those women were not afraid. Those women were not afraid.
I did play it. I remember. Yes. They were a little bit drunk, but that's fine.
No,
they weren't drunk at all.
Fuck them. And I hear conservatives saying that's not civil. You should never approach a man and his family. They're like, dude, that motherfucker just enslaved you for a fucking year. Like, if and what, you're not allowed to tell him to go fuck him and his son.
You pull out a pistol and pop one on his head. That's what
you don't.
And his soy-filled teenage kids of his.
Like I said, the wrong people are afraid, and the liberals have been the commies have been attacking Republicans and people in the Trump cabinet and restaurants and Rand Paul outside the White House. Like, they've been doing this to Republican politicians. Let the Democratic politicians get a little piece of it. Yeah. Like, as our Congresswoman said, get in their face. Like, dude, the wrong people are afraid. These Democratic politicians who've made everyone slaves, they don't have a fucking care in the world. Like, that's
1,000%.
Yeah, that's what it might take. They're acting with immunity because nothing ever happens to them. So if it takes two Jersey ladies to fucking put that governor and take that on steroids, like I said, it might take some fucking angry woman just fucking elbow Garcetti in the face or something like that. Just like enough. Like,
hey, how you doing?
Oh God, Murphy,
how you doing?
Such a dick.
You're having fun with your family. In the meantime, you're having all kind of other bullshit going on at your house.
Yeah.
A little too drunk. No, I'm not drunk. As a matter of fact.
Put your mask on.
You can go fuck yourself. How's that?
That's the New York Jersey mentality right there. God, what happened to us,
dude? That is it right there. Can you put your mask on? You can go fuck yourself. How about that, little pansy? Like, dude, that's what needs to occur. True, dude.
Oh my God,
dude. Listen, and it didn't get physical. There was no violence. Too
bad it wasn't.
Dude, well, you know, it's shit like these people, these motherfuckers aren't afraid, dude. They're not afraid. That's why, like, I watch all the announcements of the new draconian this, and dude, they're not afraid. They've built a hubris. They're not afraid of ramifications at all. They think there are overlords. And like I said, what are the feds doing? What's the FBI doing? The FBI's not protecting us from them. The FBI is protecting them from us. And that's why I'm choosing my words very delicately. So I don't have a couple dykes show up here, but I'll quote our Congresswoman, Maxine Waters, the brilliant Congresswoman from California. Get in their fucking face, dude. Get in. I've been.
That's what I admire about the left, Gus. They fight dirty.
They fight dirty.
They end justified. Our side is still civil. How dare you? Oh my God! Clutch my pearls. It's
well, they fight dirty, and because they get away with it. Like I said, it's when they are like these governors and mayors, especially the ones who've been caught. Right, they've been caught not following their own rules. Go down the list, dude. Like 20 of them have been caught. That tells you everything about how scared of the virus they are. The fact that they know it's bullshit. Like, so they are like they're like the guy who gets caught cheating, and instead of apologizing for cheating, they beat the woman up. Like, that's
how dare you accuse me?
Like a wife walks in, he's fucking another woman. he doesn't. Instead of saying sorry for cheating on his wife, he beats her up instead. Like that. That is. Am I fucking lying? Like that's like. Yeah, Gavin, we caught you having dinner. He's like, yeah, no problem. 10 p.m. curfew starting tomorrow.
And the people of California take it.
That dude, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
boys, I'm gonna try to get my fat ass into the gym. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, G-Man.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family. Don't let them drive us all fucking insane.
Yes.
Yeah. I will. I will talk to you guys shortly.
Definitely. Thank you all for listening in. Have yourselves a great day. Again, guys, subscribe, like, comment, and share. And again, check out Gus's work over at perpetualassets.com. And with that being said, CJ.